Hi, I'm Joe Dinifer. You know, the Continental grip is very well known, but seldom understood, especially at the recreational level. A lot of people feel they have the Continental grip, but surprisingly enough, most don't. Recently at the United States Tennis Congress, there were 200 self-professed tennis junkies who attended the camps with 50 great staff members from all across the country. And out of the 30 people that I had my seminar that I gave that had to do with indoor practice techniques, 28 of them thought they had the Continental grip, but they were a little bit off. We're going to be discussing exactly how to measure whether your Continental grip is accurate and will be fully functional, or whether you have some limitations, and if you do, how to correct it. So here we go. First of all, as far as the Continental grip goes, this is the grip that people can slice with, dink with, lob with. They're going to want to serve with because it allows for the most wrist flexion. The only limitation is topspin. You're not going to be able to hit topspin ground strokes very well with a Continental grip, although if you hit a two-handed backhand, a Continental grip with your dominant hand will be very common and can be fully functional. So, Continental grip, what are the limitations and what happens with people who think they have it? Well, one of them is on the serve. And I've seen as someone who's taught tennis for decades, so many students, they start off to serve with a Continental grip, and right in the middle of their motion, right about here, they switch their grip and end up with a push kind of motion that really has severe limitations. So, as far as that goes, the Continental grip being fully important on the serve because it allows for full wrist flexion. All right, next, as far as the Continental grip on the volley is concerned, the definition of the Continental grip, it's a midstream kind of grip that allows you to hold the racket angle consistent for both sides. Now, you know, people should ask, why is that important at the net? Well, it's important at the net because of two reasons. A, you're closer to your opponent, so the ball is going to be coming sooner. And B, because the ball hasn't bounced and slowed down after the bounce, the ball is coming in at a faster speed. How much speed? Generally, the court surface grabs the ball and slows it down to about, on average, 50% of its initial speed. So at the net, you don't have time to start fiddling with your grips and changing, and if you do change your grips at the net, you know what it feels like. So the Continental grip will give you, and here's the key, will give you an equally open racket face on both sides for your forehand and your backhand volley. If your grip is off, just a little bit, maybe a quarter of an inch, maybe just with the heel of your hand or the front of your hand, then, example, your forehand volley would be more flat and your backhand volley would be more open. So there we go. There's the issue with the limitation of the Continental grip on the volley. If, and this is very important, if you are slightly off. Now let's take a pause here because we're going to resume with some exercises that you can use to find the right grip, A, and then to practice it to reinforce the feel and those neural pathways that will really help you feel comfortable with a great Continental grip. Now there are several standard methods that people are taught as to how to find the Continental grip. Now one of them is, it points out a spot, and that is the inside of your index finger knuckle, this one right here. And this spot is supposed to line up with this upper right hand bevel, and that's easy enough. But the instruction that will give you a Continental grip is not correct. It can give you a Continental grip, but you need to use a combination of the inside of that index finger knuckle along with the heel of the hand. Very, very important. And here are some checkpoints to help you out. Number one, if you look down and you see the butt, this handle that the wrap of the grip covers your handle, if you look down and see that, you're not Continental. You're a little bit more, if you're right-handed, towards an Eastern forehand grip. If you're the other way, which is infrequently a problem, then your wrist is going to go to the other side, which is also not a continental grip. That's more of an Eastern backhand grip for a one-handed topspin backhand. So here's some ways to find the continental grip. Then we're going to move to how to keep the continental grip and get a feel for it more quickly, and then some exercises to test it out and really reinforce a good feeling for you. So how to find it. I like this method as a real easy one. Slide your hand up and hit the bottom of your elbow or the bottom of your forehand very lightly with your racket grip. So just like this. If I go down like this and I miss on my left side as a right-hander, then I know I'm more towards the Eastern forehand. If I go the other way, it's that Eastern one-handed topspin backhand grip. So the Continental will allow you, when you just hammer a nail, just like tapping the racket, the ball with the racket down on its edge, and line it up underneath the hand. Then you just slide down. And if you keep it straight, you should be able to cover that grip with your wrist so that your hand is in the middle. Now, how to test whether the Continental grip is really working? Well, you can spin a ball, like I can hit backspin with my forehand, and note the amount of rotation that I get, because when I go to the backhand, if I have a Continental grip, I will have an equal amount of rotation. If, on the other hand, you're hitting flat on one side like this and a ton of rotation on the other, you know it's not a Continental grip, and you'll look down like I just did and you'll see the top of the handle. So just go back, tap the elbow, and if it's easier for you, yes, choking up can help. Ideally, you want to move to the point where at home you can spin the ball and go forehand and backhand alternating. Once you get a feel for that, this is a little bit more challenging but not as hard as it looks. You can spin, tap, spin, tap, spin, tap. And that will help you out as well. If you're really athletic and you want to get a better feel for it, you can spin tap on the forehand, spin tap on the backhand. That's a little more challenging. We'll try one more time. Spin tap, spin tap. And there we go. Now, final thing, and this is very important, okay? If you're struggling with these grips, there are some cues to help you. If, for example, you are changing the grip on your serve, which a lot of people do, they change midstream, then to hold that grip down, there's only one muscle that you're releasing. And this is seldom taught, so listen carefully to this one. It's the thumb muscle in here. So if you can hold that thumb down, not tightening up your grip, but just hold the thumb down, you'll find that you're not going to be sliding that grip over in the middle of your service motion. If you have trouble just holding it in position, you can hold it with your third finger, as I'm demonstrating now. Another way to lock your grip in until you get a feel for it, this may sound a little bit funny, but if you have an old grip and you've got an old glove and some glue, slide your hand into the glove, put some glue on it, grab your racket, wait till it dries. The glove is going to be stuck to the racket with the correct grip. Then you just take your hand out when you're not using the racket and practicing. Put your hand back in when you are, and you'll be able to do those exercises until you have a feel for it. Another way is masking tape. Not duct tape, too much adhesive. Masking tape around your hand and around the grip to get a better feel for it. And believe me, it may take some time, but you will develop those neural pathways. A third way is one of our products, training aid called the Grip Doctor. You can look it up on our website. And a fourth way is really quite simple, and that is through doing these exercises that I showed you just a second ago to ensure that you have the same equal amount of spin for both. So thank you very much for joining us. This is our discussion on the Continental grip. It is something you can practice at home. If you're using a ball at home, we suggest instead of a regular tennis ball to use a foam ball just to protect some of those breakables that you may have in your living room. Till next time, take care.